皆さんこんにちは and welcome to Shogo's podcast. So recently, guys, I always actually take about 30 minutes to an hour to read books too. Now, whenever I say 30 minutes to an hour, I usually talk about the Instagram DM, but that is one other thing what I do. But anyways, I take some time to read books as well. That's because, of course, I want more knowledge to make more videos and simply new topics for me to talk about to you guys. And the books are usually about Japanese culture, about Japanese history, the society, social problems, and everything. And right now, I've been reading a book about something called docho atsuroku, which is the pressure to conform or comply, kind of to fit in, kind of. It means, yeah, it's a really unique concept in Japan where they're basically we always keep each other under surveillance to see who if we're all basically obeying each other or not, kind of thing. If you're not making any troubles, or if you're not standing out, that kind of stuff. But basically we've been talking about this many times, like, remember, because Japan is an island nation, and because we have a lot of natural disasters, and if you actually have someone who causes trouble, those kind of people will not cooperate during emergency, so they will be kicked out of society. And that's how Japanese people have come to create this society culture of not wanting to stand out, because those kind of people will be kicked out when natural disasters or famines or those kind of things happen. And it did happen in Japan quite often because of the weather, because of the natural environment and such. Yeah. So because of this, there's a lot of problems going on because we haven't been able to change this trait, how Japanese society runs. Basically, even today, the core part hasn't changed. And of course, it's really difficult to change. Basically, like, no culture, no country has been able to completely change its culture from like a few hundred years ago, right? Yeah. Everyone has been affected by those kind of things. Humans don't change that easily, right? So, but anyways, I was reading about that book, talking about the negative aspects of the way how Japanese society is run. And in that book, I found something that was really interesting, and this actually leads to another really important video that I want to make in the future, which is probably going to be the biggest theme that I've ever talked about. But I really feel that this is the answer, the real answer to all the problems that are happening in Japan today. And I think I found the key to it. Now, what I mean by I found the key to it doesn't mean I know how to solve it, but I figured out what the fundamental problem of Japan is. And you might think, well, Shogo, you always talk about the aging society. It's probably that, right? No, it's not the aging society. No, it's not that Japan is a collectivist society, as I always talk about in my previous videos. It's not that. I found something else, which is very simple, but it's actually linked to so many historical events and the characteristics of Japanese people. But anyways, before I talk about that, I think I'll practice talking about that to you again soon in a different podcast. But today I want to talk about something else, which is, why can't Japanese people quit using name cards, which are called meishi in Japanese? I think you've seen in my videos too, and a lot of other videos related to Japanese culture, where they talk about the business cards, right? The name cards, business cards, and that is really important for Japanese people and how you treat it. You don't just randomly put it into your back pocket and so on and so forth. And that culture is really unique. It's a little bit troublesome, actually, tiresome at the same time. But the reason why a lot of young people, actually, to be honest, talk about this too and say that why can't we just quit this, because it's just really it's a really nuisance, to the business. Like, why do we need this stuff, kind of thing? And there are some movements among the 20s, early 30s, I guess, try to stop the business cards. But does it mean that we can actually stop completely making them? I actually do have business cards, and I always take it, to wherever I go and film, videos and such. I always do that. So it's kind of impossible to completely quit it at once, because if you don't have business cards in Japan and you have a business yourself, or you're working, the person will probably not see you as a proper businessman, basically. And the reason why we can't quit it, because you don't have to have business cards today, right? I mean, we have applications, we have social media, we can just exchange, our emails and everything right away, like phone numbers. We could just take out our phones and exchange QR codes or something like that. We could do something else, a more efficient faster way to get all of the information done. Why can't we do that? Now, I was always thinking, well, I guess the other person wants to know the information of the other person as soon as possible, maybe kind of thing you might think too. But in that book I'm reading right now, in this book, actually I have it in my hands right now, this book right now explains it really nicely. And I was like, that is exactly the reason why we can't quit business cards. And it's not actually about the phone numbers. It's not about the email addresses that are written there. It's actually about which rank or position that person is in. Now, on Japanese business cards, right under your name, you always have your class or your rank within that organization. It could be president, sub president. It could be anything, like you're a chief of whatever group, or the leader, or you're just the leader of a small group, or you're just a normal employee, or whatever it is. Your name is basically your rank or your job, your what's the word I'm looking for? Your post, I guess, within your company is written on there, and that is the most important part. That's the most important part, the most important information that you need to tell to the other person, and the information that you need from the other person too, because again, Japan is a society that is run by who is in a higher rank, who is in a lower rank, senpai, kohai, junior, senior, that kind of relationship. So for example, when we talk in Japanese, we have to decide whether to speak in for example, in keigo, which is the polite Japanese, or if we don't use keigo, if we use light keigo, very heavy keigo, it really depends on the situation. And when we can't understand the relationship, it's very difficult to communicate in the first place. And this also leads to the fact that Japanese people are very bad at communicating, talking with each other in the first place, because in the past, everything was run by systems. So basically, the Japanese society basically lost their power to communicate directly with each other with their own communication skills, because they had a complete system, especially during the Edo period. They decided that you are in this rank, you are born in this rank, in that case, your job is this, you live here, you wear this, you get married with this person, kind of thing, and everything was decided for you. And that was a way for Japanese society to create harmony for 265 years of peace, right? However, because the remnant of this culture that was going on just about 150 years ago, around there, Japanese people still lack the ability to communicate without knowing which position that person is in. So how you communicate is going to be completely different. Now, I'm pretty sure you might think, like, for example, if you thought that other person is just a regular employee and you find out that person was actually a president, that would be a major surprise. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry I was like talking to you casually like this. But no, in Japan, even a month of starting working first in that company, that person will be regarded as senpai, for example. In the Maiko or sumo world, the traditional world, will be even stricter. Just 1 day of difference. You'll forever be senpai and kohai, just by 1 day, regardless of age. If the other person becomes a Maiko just 1 day ahead of you, that person is forever your senpai. You will forever use keigo, the polite Japanese, to that person. Just by 1 day. So that's how strict it is. And without this, Japanese people can't even communicate. They don't know how to talk to each other if they don't understand which position the other person is in. That's the reason why they need that kind of information in order to start a conversation. And that is the reason why business cards are so important. So you might have thought, studying Japanese, like, why do Japanese people need this kind of stuff? Like this keigo, it's just so much trouble. Why can't we just all speak tameguchi, which is the casual Japanese that friends will speak to each other? Why can't we just have only this? And why do we have this whole new set of almost a different language for Japanese people to talk with each other, right? This is the reason why. Because relationships define how you talk in the first place. You can't even start talking if you don't understand which position that person is in, especially in the business world, right? So this is exactly the reason why we will continue to have a very hard time getting rid of business cards. And this book just explained it perfectly in really easy to understand format for me. So I just wanted to introduce this to you right away. Again, I really hope you can look forward to the video I'm thinking of right now. I think I will be making a Shogo's classroom. I'm having a really hard time deciding what to write in the thumbnail and title because it's such a big theme. But once I talk about it in my podcast, I will ask for your help. What you think would be the most appealing way to talk for everyone to click that thumbnail there. So once I get there, I'll definitely ask for your help again. So then everyone, as I always say, the ultimate goal of my life is to make all Japan lovers' dreams come true. So I know there's a lot of people studying Japanese, willing to come to Japan to travel, study, or work, or even train our traditional culture and such. However, I am very afraid that Japan will not be able to make everyone's dreams come true in the future because we're facing a lot of social problems, we are losing our traditional culture, and the younger generations who are supposed to be carrying on the good things about Japan are dying because of all the social issues being shoved against them. So I really want to dedicate my life trying to make Japan a better place. I want to try to solve the social problems, preserve and evolve traditional culture, and also help out the younger generations so they can have a better future. And to do that, the nearest goal I have right now is to achieve 2 million subscribers by January 2023 on our main channel, so all your likes and comments will help to boost our views, new viewers, so it'd be great if you can help us out. In terms of algorithm, the videos that have more likes, the videos that have more comments will be stronger in algorithm, so it'd be great if you can help me out. It could be 3 or 4 comments in one video. If you could help me out, if there's anything you'd like to say, it'd be great if you could do that for me too. I always have a lot of viewers who leave 2 or 3 comments for me, and that actually means a lot for me too. Thank you so much for all of your time. And to be honest, at the pace we're going right now, it's going to be really tough for us to try to reach 2 million by the end of this year. So Team Let's Ask Shogo, we're going to be doing everything we can to try to do it, though. We are really serious, of course, about our dream, so I hope you can help us out too. And once we actually achieve it, there's going to be so many things we'll be able to do to try to make Japan a better place. So yeah, let's keep on fighting together. All right, thank you so much, guys.